So good to be here. Hi. I always get yelled at for being muted. They're always like, you're muted, me.
Now though? Now? How about now? Ah. OBS is here to troll me again. I see. Thank you for telling me. Alrighty. Hefty comic, thank you. Hello everyone! I hope you had a wonderful day.
I hope you guys are all doing good too.
Yeah. Alright, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Today we have a really special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. Yeah, I can introduce myself, everyone. Hi everyone, I am LittleNii. I am a VTuber and music producer and artist. And today, Diggy was so kind to have me on her podcast, and it's great being here. Yeah.
Alright, so for all of you that don't know yet, I'm DigiShell. I'm a VPet VTuber, so like a Tamagotchi, and I host the podcast, as you already heard, Host in the Shell, where I interview different creatives and ask them about their process, their niche, and all the stuff that has to do with them creating, you know, why they do it, how they do it, stuff like that. And also the mental health aspect of that kind of thing, because I want you to get creative and I want to inspire you and show you how many awesome creators there are and that every kind of creation brings something valuable to the table. So yeah, Ni has already introduced herself. I'm really happy about that. Also, thank you for the follows, everyone. I can't respond to everyone one by one since it would kind of interrupt the flow of the podcast a little bit, but I will do it from time to time, and I really appreciate you guys being here. So, Ni, my first question for you. Let me just. People keep coming in. That's so nice of you guys. Thank you. Alrighty. So you mainly VTube, and that's not really your, how can I say, That's not how your soul speaks, right? You do something else, something.
That's correct. That is so on point. Yeah.
So how does your soul speak? Tell us. What do you do?
Oh my god, that's so deep. Well, my soul speaks through music, and music is something that I've always grown up doing, and it's really important to me. And I decided while I take the time to work on music, as it takes time, I should become like a streamer, and I became a VTuber, and yeah, here we are while I'm doing music as well.
So, not only that do you do music, you make really good music. So,
I do. Thank you so much. Thank
everyone,
you. It's
if,
so
if
nice.
if you haven't checked out Nii yet, please visit her YouTube channel at LittleNii
Ah!
and listen to her on Spotify. I listen to her music in my off time. I actually got her music recommended to me through the algorithm. So,
Thank
you
you,
know,
algorithm.
if
Thank you
YouTube
for
thinks,
doing it.
if YouTube thinks it's good stuff, you know, you gotta be there. You're gonna check it out.
Be there
So,
or don't care. That's my saying. Usually it's be there, be square. I just say be there or don't care.
that's a good saying. All right, so Nii was so kind to actually send me some samples so you guys can get to know her a
Ah,
bit better.
so yeah, let me just explain. These samples are some samples that I produced myself. I produced the music. I have many music production samples, but I just chose these three ones today, and then Digi, my bad, could just show everyone whatever she decides to, and yeah.
All right, I think we'll start with the first one. I'll let it play
Okay.
for a couple minutes so you guys can get an idea, and then I'll switch over to the next sample because some of these are slightly spoilery, so you know. If you are here, get the first listen of some of these stuff. I don't want to give away too much here.
Yeah. So I gave the timestamps below, so
Yeah,
any
yeah.
approximation is good. Yeah.
All right, let's start with the first one then.
Yay.
I vibe to this. I like this.
I can't even hear it. Wait, maybe if I like turn my stream on.
Yeah, that might help. Oh, you guys have the matching Mii emotes. That's so cute. I like the little glow sticks. That's so precious. That's really cute. All right, that was the first song. I don't want to spoil too much for now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You did perfect.
Yeah, you know, I have my eye on the time there. All right, let's check out the second one. The second one is called Pineapple Groove. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, this one isn't like going to be an original or anything. I made that when I was doing commissions just to show like VTubers like what I could do for like BGMs or like alerts and stuff. So that's what that one is.
Let's have a listen then. And then it loops basically. Oh, that's a nice one. Hi, Carrot Sandwich. Hello. Welcome.
Hi. Welcome.
All right, and the next one, that's called Popsicle. And I think for this one, I have a timestamp too, so.
Yeah, this
know.
one is an original I might be publishing in this summer.
Ooh,
I have a
exciting.
more finished version of it. That isn't the finished version, but I couldn't find it on my computer in time, so that is the version that I have given you.
It's all right. You know, you completed the assignment, and I'm still
I did
still
good.
really happy.
Yay! I made Sensei happy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, let's go.
For this one, I actually have a different timestamp, maybe. Yeah.
Actually, if you can let it play into like 150, that'd be good.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
This one I really, really like, and I don't know if you're reading the comments, but they're saying a lot of nice things about it too.
I see it. I didn't want to interrupt. Thank you, everyone. It means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, just a little taste of my production. I got more in store, but we'll hear that someday, some other time.
If you want to hear more, then head over to the LittleNii YouTube channel and their Spotify. Her Spotify,
Thank
my bad.
you.
And
It's okay,
definitely
it's
check her
okay.
out. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of habit. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I appreciate you remembering.
Alrighty, so we listen to your music and we all get your vibe now. And what I want to know is, how does one produce a song? So how does your creative process look like?
That's a very good question. Sometimes I flow and other times like I feel like it's not coming out as easily. So on those days I just don't push it. Like if I'm inspired by something, I'll try to sit down and like write something. And yeah, if I like how it's coming, if I feel like ideas are just flowing, I keep going with it. And if it's just not kinda like if it's not there, then I'm just like, "You know what? I'm just gonna put it away," like, trying to make a new piece today and then just work on something that I already started, and yeah, it's kinda my process.
I see. So when you're in your kind of like flow state, you basically have an idea and you immediately know what you want to do, right? Is that kind of what the flow space is?
Kinda. I mean, flow just means to me like you're just in a state where you're not forcing anything, you're just letting the ideas sort of just like come to you and you're just kind of just free flowing. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but it's just a state where you're not forcing anything. It's just all coming sort of naturally and yeah, flow.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. If you really like music, music's kind of your
Mhm.
calling. It would make sense that you get into
Yeah.
these moods where it's easier for you to express an emotion, to kind of tap into that pool and make a song about it.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
So
It
when you
should
make
be
a
fun.
song, oh, sorry.
That's it. That's all I want to say.
When you make a song, where do you get your ideas from? Is it like a mood thing, or is it from like fiction that you get inspired, or other musicians? Like, how do you
It's
tap
it's
into
it's
it?
it's a combo of 2 things. One, it is a mood thing. Sometimes I try to just write based on how I feel and like what kind of chords would this emotion sound like? What kind of instruments would I use? And also I draw inspiration from other tracks from producers I like and that's sort of like how things get creative in get created in the flow process when I'm making music. Yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. And what's your favorite part of making music?
My favorite part of making music is probably making the chords for the music. I really just love chord building. I feel like that's the one thing I'm good at. When I first started music, I got a lot of compliments from producers that were, doing it for years. Like, oh wow, like your ability to write chords is pretty strong. And yeah, I like writing chords. Like I feel like that's where a lot of the emotions pour out is in the chords.
And what's the trickiest part for you?
The trickiest part for me is there's 2 things that are probably the trickiest. Actually, 3 things is figuring out like the middle of the song and how to end a song. The next thing that's hard for me or not hard, it's not something that I feel super confident in yet is mastering tracks. I can't really master my tracks yet. I have to learn how to do that. So I usually mix them and then I go to someone for mastering because I've tried to master and it's kind of a disaster. Things got all distorted and they didn't sound right. Every producer always says that mastering is the hardest part when you're finishing up a track. And the third part is probably percussion. I'm definitely more melodically. Melodic stuff is where my strength is, and percussion, I'm still kind of working with it. It's a little bit, I guess my percussion style is a little bit quirky. It's not super polished. So what I end up doing is I end up just getting drum loops because yeah, I have to work on my percussion and figuring out like interesting percussive patterns.
How would you
Sometimes I
explain?
don't get sorry.
Ah, my bad, my bad. That was my
No,
mistake.
it's okay. Sometimes I try and I don't use drum loops, but it's more of like a simplified beat that I make. That's all.
How would you explain mastering in like a layman's term?
So mastering is like leveling out the final track. It's getting it at its peak volume, everything sort of like the loudest it can go without it being distorted. It's just kind of like getting it to like a place where it sounds good on all devices. It's not too loud or it's not too soft. That's the best way I could describe mastering because when you render out a track without mastering it, you often find that it renders out softer than how it's played in the DAW, aka the program itself that you're working in, and that's why we usually master too, is to make sure that it's not rendering out much softer than it actually is in the program.
Oh, I see. Okay, I think I understand
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes when you render like a video and like it doesn't like render exactly up to quality, so you just want to make sure like the quality is good like all around when you render something.
I see. So basically, that's like the finishing touch in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll find with songs sometimes there are like remasters where like I guess someone will go back into the song and like tweak the mastering and make it even better, so it's like a better version of the song. At least that's what I think mastering is. Like remastering is, my bad.
Have you ever remastered one of your old songs?
No, if I did, I would definitely ask someone to do it, but I have not. Although I did a new version of All I Want for Christmas. I guess it's kind of a remaster in a way, but it's also just kind of a completely different song in a way. So like that's the closest thing I've ever done to a remaster.
Have you plans of remastering one in the future? I think remasterings would be cool to like see the like your growth over the years, right?
Maybe Sweet Dreams Are Made of Weebs I would remaster, but other than that, I'm not really sure what I would remaster right now because I haven't got the chance to put out a lot of original music, and that's kind of my goal for this year is to put out like a bunch of original music.
I
Yeah.
think that sounds really exciting. So
Thank you.
earlier when we talked privately, you mentioned that you wanted to release an EP, right? So what does EP
Yeah.
mean?
EP is like a music album, but shorter. So a music album usually has like 8 to 10 songs. An EP could have as little as 3 to 5 songs. And it's just like, it's sort of like a baby album, like for people that are kind of just like getting their music out. And EPs are pretty easy to, well, easier than albums to get out. And that's what an EP is. It's just like a mini album.
I'm personally really excited to listen to it because I've really enjoyed the stuff you put on your YouTube, so I'm sure
Ah,
your
thank
EP will
you.
be really good. um,
Yeah, thank you so much.
One question I want to ask you is, so many artists we had on the show have said that they struggled with art block, with things like imposter syndrome, which is procrastinating. Do you as a music producer suffer from similar things?
Yes, definitely.
But how
I
do you deal with
often
them?
am which thing, procrastination or imposter syndrome? Because unfortunately, I don't really have a solution for imposter syndrome right now.
Is that something that you'd say how do you say that you suffer from often, just like comparing yourself to other producers or other creators and just kind of thinking, oh, I don't deserve my place, or I could be better and stuff, because that's something that bothers me a lot about my
I
work.
think everyone that's a content creator has some form of like comparing themselves, and the best advice I could give on that is just focus on yourself. Like, don't look at your feed, don't go out of your way to look at other people's numbers. Just you're your own competition. No one else is your competition. Just kind of based on yourself. Be like, okay, I released this project. How can the next one be even better? How could I get more plays on this project? How could it just be better in quality overall? And I guess that's kind of like what I do to like help with that sort of thing.
I think that's really good advice, because for
Thank
me,
you.
I do compare myself to like, past versions, but I also sometimes get into the trap of thinking, oh, I should be better at this. I should do this better.
Yeah.
Like I should be, good enough to make this in a different way, to make this more sophisticated. And that can hurt when you release a project that's really dear to you, and then you get caught in that trap of thinking, maybe if I was better, I could have done an even better job at doing this.
Yeah. It's hard. Like sometimes we just get in our own heads a lot and we beat ourselves up, but it's important to also see like how far you've come too. Like if you just like look at something you made like a few years ago and you'll instantly kind of feel better and be like, "Oh, you know what? I am making progress. Things I am getting better. I've come a long way."
I think that shows in your content as well.
Thanks. I appreciate that a lot, actually.
Of course.
Mm.
Um, the other two things, so like art block and procrastination, is that something you can relate to?
Yeah, definitely. Procrastination. What's kind of helping with that right now, and something that I'm working on, is just waking up earlier. I find the later I wake up, the less motivated I am because I see that it's already like 5 p.m. The sun is going down, the day is over, and so I automatically feel like I just lost the day and I don't really want to work as much. And versus like waking up at like 11 a.m., I feel more motivation. The sun is shining on me, like I'm getting the vitamin D, and I just feel a lot more motivated and like I have more time and I don't waste that time. And that's been really helping me with motivation. I don't know why. Something about just waking up earlier just really motivates me more. The earlier the better. Um and with blocks, what I do with that is, again, it's kind of like the whole flow thing I talked about. I just try not to push anything. I just try to complete things that I started because I kind of have this like bad habit of like starting things and not finishing them. So if I'm facing a block, I'll just try to like focus on things that are already in progress or are closer to being completed and then try to work on something new. Or I'll just try to get inspired, like I'll go out in nature or listen to music, and that will usually help unjam me a little bit from a block.
Mm. I tried the same thing for me. I think with a blog, the advice just kinda like the most advice you'll read online and most advice that works for people is just that you need to leave it be for a while. You need to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
up, get the vitamin D, like you said, and just exist a bit separated from like your thing. And then when you come back to
Mhm.
it, you have a fresh view at how it was and what you can fix about it.
Yeah,
So,
I think good.
you first.
Oh, no, I think it's just a good way, like, just not to force anything. That's all.
Definitely. You hit the mark on that one. I think you're totally right.
Thanks. I try. I try. I'm not perfect. I'm not an expert. Just speaking from experience.
But that's how that's how you become an expert, right? Through experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So, don't sell yourself
Shell.
short. Ugh.
Thank you. I thought you said shell for a second. Don't sell your shell.
I might have actually.
No.
That was a bit of a I misspoke.
That's so funny.
Don't sell your shell. Don't sell it short. So
Exactly.
I want to know, you started creating because you wanted to get something out of it. I want to know what that is. Like, what drives you to create?
Um, it's not so much to get something out of things. It's more I'm doing it for myself. Like, um, it's a form of expression, and all I want to do is just express myself and express my art and like my feelings to the world. And that's the most important thing for me. You know, of course I want my stuff to properly reach people. I don't want it to just go to nowhere. I don't want my work to ever go in vain. But I'm mainly doing this for myself, and you know, this is what I want to be doing, especially creating music videos and performing, and that's just really important to me and the thing that I'm trying to prioritize more this year. Um yeah.
I think if your self-expression looks like the stuff you put on Spotify and YouTube, I think you do have, you know, wonderful emotions to share. And
Aw. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means so much. Thank you. Yeah.
of course, you know, I can really tell you give it your all, and all the work is super polished, and it just has that kind of touch, you know, that I
I
wouldn't want to
certainly
miss.
try. Yeah. I certainly try my best. I had a brain fart.
Well, good. Should I ask you the next question then?
Yes, you can.
Of course. So we definitely have some people here who might have dabbled with music production before, and for them, I want to ask, how did you find your niche? How did you get comfortable with the stuff that you're making?
Wait, I'm confused. Is this towards your cat or a question for me?
That is a question for you. Like, how did you get
Oh,
comfortable with making that kind of music that you're making? Like, how did you find your little niche of the content that you do?
I wasn't really searching for a niche when I created music. I just created what I wanted to create. And I was kind of already in like the quote unquote anime niche already. So I would do some stuff related to that, also my own stuff, which is just covering whatever I want and just creating original music. It's not that I was purposely trying to find a niche. I just kind of flowed into a niche, if that makes sense. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm here to just express what I want to express here.
And do you have any advice for young aspiring creators?
One thing, you're never too old to make music or never too old to do something new if you want to, you know, try it. And just to not beat yourself up too much because I'm very guilty of doing that, being like, oh, why didn't I do this like a few years ago, or why didn't I work as hard then? Like, we have to just try to be as present as possible because beating up yourself gets you nowhere.
You know,
Just never too late.
it's definitely never too late. And you know, I think a couple episodes ago we heard some really good advice, and I remember some of it, and it was the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, and the second best time is today. So you know, just get started.
Yeah, like, just literally get started. It's better than not starting anything. Because I've had moments
Bless
where
you.
I've just, oh, thank you. I was just yawning, where I just kind of stayed idle and I felt stuck. And there's this really good quote someone very close in my life told me. And I actually wrote down the quote. I'm trying to remember it from memory. Do you mind if I go get it? It will take a second.
Of course, you know, you
I
can
just
get
want to
it.
say
I'll
it
talk
word
to
for
chat
word.
in the
Sure.
meantime. All right, so I saw Cameron the animal asking what a VPet is, so I just wanted to quickly say a VPet's like a Tamagotchi, just a little creature you take care of, and that's exactly what I am. That's what my design is based upon. So I'm a Tamagotchi VTuber, but that's a trademark by Bandai, so we're not using that to not get sued. So I'm a VPet,
Don't
virtual pet
trouble.
tuber.
Or they're gonna take Diggy's shell away. That's what they're gonna do. They'll be
They're
like,
gonna take my Diggy shelf away.
no,
Not the Diggy shelf!
she needs it.
Also, Kudray, thank you for the follow! Brad Jarut, you too! Thank you! Oh, Carrot had a
So
Tamagotchi as a kid. That's cool.
I used to collect them. I was like really obsessed with them. They were like all over our school. We kind of got in trouble though. Like they're like, you can't like keep like bringing those to school. I still did anyway though.
We had the same thing at my school, and I always snuck to the bathroom to like secretly feed it and like make
Because
its
you don't
poopy
want it
go
to
away.
die. It's traumatizing when it like dies.
Oh, I remember that. I remember like letting the sound go off like in class and being like, "You don't understand.
Oh
I have to save it.
no.
I have to before it dies." You know.
Exactly. Oh my god, I would have died.
Oh man, Tamagotchis are a good time. You know, that kind of 2000s aesthetic. That's what I'm all about personally.
Yes. Best times. I wish we could just like go back, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that quite often. I'm afraid. I was gonna think that kind of aesthetic, this kind of positivity that it entails, is really unique that you don't have in like other aesthetic currents, you could say. Also, Kai,
Right.
thank you for the resub. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I found the quote whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's get crack-a-lackin'.
So, what has helped me with this? What was the question again?
So, the question was, what kind of advice you had to aspiring artists, and our like solution to that was, you know,
okay.
start.
Yeah,
You're
I
never too old
remember.
to start.
So, yeah, what I was saying is the worst thing you can do is just stay idle and not do anything and just say like, "Oh, wait till I'm motivated." But the truth is, that's not going to happen. The quote is, if you wait around for motivation, it will never come. It's you have to just decide one day, wake up and just do the thing, because you're going to keep doing this thing, and I'm guilty of it, where you're just like, you wake up and you're starting your day and you're like, I'll work on music tomorrow, and then it's always tomorrow. I'll work on it tomorrow. I'll work on it tomorrow, and before you know it, like 2 months have passed and you haven't done anything. So that's what that quote means. You just have to just get up and force yourself. Well, not force, but just try to do something. Like you don't have to like do anything like straining or like overwork yourself, but just try to start something. Like even if it's just like making a file and just calling it something, and that's all you do. You gotta make sure you're doing something each day, because again, you can't just wait for that motivation to come to you. It's not how it works.
I actually have a similar quote I learned in therapy that fits with this one quite well, and so I am in therapy, like also because of depression, and my therapist said to me that, you know, if you find yourself, you know, struggling, for example, to take a shitty shower, if you're struggling to feed yourself, then eat a shitty meal, because, you know, a shitty job done is still a step in the right direction if you can't do the whole thing. Like, you don't need to pass with flying colors every single time. Like, sometimes just starting, just doing
So true.
a little thing can still help. Tayo, thank you for the raid. Hello, raiders. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, yeah. Welcome. We're podcasting.
Interview time.
It's
With the
interview
lovely
time.
Digi. Yeah.
Check out LittleNii, please. She's an awesome music producer and VTuber.
Aw, shucks. Thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course. I'm from Germany. Okay, okay, da. Also, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. So, what I really like, I saw this quote on like one of those Sigma grind Instagram pages, and I don't like those, but sometimes they pop up. And the quote was, do it alone, do it broke, do it scared. And I think there is, there is some sort of truth in there, because progress will always hurt. Progress will never be fun. When you're progging, when you're discovering, a new side of yourself and new things that you didn't think you could do before, it will not be fun. It will be nasty and annoying.
Yeah.
Like, this is how problem solving works.
That kind of reminds me, like, when you start a project, your first project is going to be, like, your worst one. So, like, don't worry about it, like, about it being so perfect. Like, if you're doing something for the first time, it's going to be, like, the worst that you do. So, like, don't even worry. That's what it reminded me of.
I find it so interesting because in every one of my podcasts, we talk about the same framework of questions, but we always arrive at different conclusions. And I find it so interesting that we're talking about this now, because it is a really important aspect of creating. Like, it's gonna suck, it's gonna blow big time sometimes, but you still gotta do it to get better.
Right. You just gotta keep pushing forward and just try to keep seeing, the things that you are improving in, even if it's something small.
Exactly, exactly. So the next question I have for you kind of ties into that, basically the tail end of the creating process. So how do you deal with reaching something like a dead end on a project?
So this is kind of similar to a block in a way. Although sometimes it could be a little worse because you feel so stuck and you don't know what to do. Sometimes if I really feel stuck, I just ask other producer friends for advice, like, hey, like, how would you tie this up? Do you have any suggestions? The easiest cheat thing to do, like, if you have trouble ending a song, is just keep it going and just fade out. Like, that's what musicians did back then. Like, they would have like a song, there's a song like California Dreaming, and like it kind of just like I think it's California Dreaming, and it just kind of fades out. Like, yeah, that's one way to do it, but I try to have like a conclusive ending, because sometimes a fade out doesn't always work depending on what you're going for. So definitely ask others in your field for advice that you trust.
I see. So you're basically reaching out to your friends, other creators, to just get new eyes on the project.
Yeah, because sometimes my mom was talking about this recently. Like, if you're so like overexhausted and feel stuck, you just need another head that's fresh and that could look at something and be like, oh, well, this is your problem. Because sometimes when we overexert ourselves, we like just our brain's too tired and we can't see things clearly. And you just need another person to be like, oh, well, this is your problem, or I hope that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think the second part of the advice, like the fade out, I wish that would just apply to VTubing streams. Like, imagine just fading out your stream slowly.
Yeah, like the model just starts to get like more and more transparent and you just fade, you vanish. And all that's left is like the background, and then that vanishes too.
I love that. Imagine if that was like a channel points trigger, like your viewers could just decide to fade you out and you'd slowly fade out of existence.
That's kind of sad. I know, I don't want you to fade out of existence. I'll miss you.
Aw, you're so sweet. I just thought
Yeah,
about
we
it more as like the Homer Simpsons getting lost in the bush kind
in
of
the
thing.
bush. That's what
Yeah.
I knew. I knew you were gonna say the bush because I've seen that gif like too many times.
I think that would be fun.
That's
That
how I
could be
feel
fun.
sometimes when I take a hiatus. Like I'm just sort of like going back into like the bush.
I know how you feel. I'm just like I'm scuttling back into my cave.
Or when you post something and it like flops and you feel stupid, you just kind of like go back into that bush. You just kind of like delete the post. Like, okay, that didn't happen. Like, that never. I'm sure like so many people can relate to that.
Every time I make a typo in a tweet, I just want to pass away.
I know. Like, it sucks that like you have to like pay to like edit your tweets, and what's worse is that there's a limited time window. Like, you can only have like a half hour to do that. So it's I know I feel the pain.
I sometimes tweet when I'm like semi-asleep. That time window
What?
definitely doesn't apply to like my tweets.
Wait, you like sleep tweet?
Rarely, I do. Yeah, sometimes I stay up to like 3 a.m. and I'm like half asleep. And I'm just like, yo, I just saw a meme video that was really funny. I need to tweet about this.
That's a mood.
Yeah, that's like, you know, you're passing out. You don't remember when you fell asleep. When you wake up, it's all just kind of a blur. That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I totally get it.
All right. I have a couple more questions to you, but don't worry, we're almost done.
Of course.
I want to know how you feel about your current project at the moment. You mentioned your EP, and that's going to be really exciting.
Thank you. I feel excited. I got one project that means so much to me. You played it. It was the first one. I won't be giving too many details about that one, but that one's a really big project that's been in progress for about 2 years, and I'm very excited for that one. And right now, I'm just trying to figure out like what the first EP is going to be about, and then kind of start to work on my projects from there. I have some things that I already started, and for the EP, I also want to work with other producers, so it's not just me producing all the songs. Because as someone that's a vocalist, a lyric writer, and a producer, it's going to take like too much time to like just do produce every single track myself. And because I started out as a vocalist, like vocals have always been more of a priority. What I'm going to do is probably have 2 tracks on the EP that are produced by me fully, and then either another 2 or 3 that are other producers. And yeah, that's kind of like the plan for the EP.
But
First,
that's
I'm
so
trying to just
cool.
figure out. Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out the theme of this first EP. I think I kind of got a vague notion for the idea of the EP, but I will leave it there for the first one.
Well, guys, if you want to keep up with LittleNii, you should definitely follow her on Twitter, on Twitch, and on YouTube, and on Spotify. You will not
I was
regret
just
it.
about to say maybe I should give my Spotify link at some point. Yeah.
I can either link it right at the end, or I can also post about it on Twitter and in my Discord. I think my
Oh,
Twitch
you don't
baby
have to.
filter.
That's so sweet.
Of course, my Twitch baby filter is set to block links, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I have that too. It just puts like stars.
Yeah,
for them.
exactly. But I can try like right at the end. We'll see if it works out. I think
Sure.
as the streamer, I think I'm like
Here,
left
I'll just
out
paste it.
of the filter. Thank you. So
Mhm.
I want to know what project has made you the proudest. Like this can be in total, it can be recent stuff.
Easy question. The one that you played in the very beginning. I've just, oh my god, this sign just appeared on me. Sorry. What do you call it? The very first song. It's been a large work in progress, and a song that I plan to have big feats with. And it's going to be a big project. Even after the song is published, I'm probably going to publish a visualizer of the song, and then at some point a music video, and I'm going to leave it there.
Oh, that sounds really cool. Like a visualizer is always such a good time. Like that really gives it some pizzazz, I feel.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that song. It's like my baby, and I've been working on it for so long.
Well, as you are very beautiful, I'm sure the song will turn out just the same way.
Wait, really? Oh gosh, thank you so much. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you.
I hit you right where it hurts.
I heard so good. Thank you. You're such a beautiful human, and you have such a nice aura, and that's a large part of the reason why I wanted to work with you and also collab with you on my own stream. So I also plan on having Diggy on my own stream where I'm going to be the host next time, and we're going to play a game, and it's gonna be fun.
I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll try to beat my bad habit of talking over people. It's still something I'm working
Oh my
on.
gosh, you're not bad at all. I feel like I'm worse. I'm just trying to slow down because sometimes I talk way too fast.
It's all good. Like I do the same thing. I always kind of struggle with parsing people. It's the same in real life too. So, don't worry
Mm.
about it.
My issue that I have in person, like, I guess when I'm ordering food, is that people can never hear me. And it's just, I just give up. I'm just like, can someone else just like order for me? I don't feel like screaming.
I know what you mean though. I think the worst is like I used to work in a hotel like back in the day years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was on phone duty sometimes, and I always got so scared when people would call because
Aw,
sometimes I couldn't parse the accent,
no.
or they'd be like really old or really young, and I had a really hard time understanding like certain words when people weren't pronouncing them really clearly, like addresses and stuff, like postal code, like numbers when people
Oh,
just
I get
scream that.
that.
Yeah, like I had a really hard time on telephone duty. That was really
Oh
stinky.
no. Yeah, I always get embarrassed when I have to ask someone to repeat themselves because like I can't like understand what they just said.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. All right,
Mhm.
two more questions for you, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Find a
My
nice person to
God.
rate, and that will be it for
Wow.
tonight. So, I want to know: do your friends, family know of your passions and support you?
They do, and it really means so much that they do. When I first told them about it before my career really took off, they were a little tentative about it, and they were just like, it doesn't always work out, like, having your music make you money or like online stuff. Like they were, it's like stuff I already knew, and thankfully, I'm very grateful that it did work out. Streaming is how I make my income now. Um, and I'm more than grateful every day. I don't take it for granted, and they're proud of me. They know that I have to stream to keep roof over my head, and also that I'm still working on music, and that is something that is very important to me, and that I'm going to be prioritizing more this year for certain. And I hope people are ready for that.
I think a true fan, someone that wants you succeed and is in your corner, will always understand if you put your passion and your well-being first. And I just think the people who already like you will just be excited for the new things that are to come, and they'll keep up with them. So I don't
Yeah.
see a problem with that. Like, you have a lovely community. So many
Oh,
lovely people came
thank
here
you.
today, and
You're making me smile. Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
I just say what's true. I'm not a sweet talker. Okay, maybe a little bit of a sweet talker, but what I mostly say is true.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. Like, I never want someone to just sugarcoat or just say what I want to hear. Like, I want to know the truth, and I appreciate people that can be honest with me.
Definitely, like, I always need that. Like, a while
Mm-hmm.
ago, and I might have shot myself in the foot with that
Oh
move, but
no.
I hosted a survey in my Discord server and on Twitter.
Oh, what kind of survey?
Just kind of like, do you like the technical aspect of the stream? Do you like the stream topics? Do you like, like do you like the music choice? Do you like the time slot of the stream? Like those kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
administratory questions. And one question I included was, do you find the streams entertaining? And some anonymous answers that came in.
No. I'm scared. What
No,
did
it
they
was
say?
it was all good. It was like
Oh,
3 out of 5 and
okay.
4 out of 5. So it's like, it's like not the worst, but I just kind of thought, wow, I really asked questions that I didn't want to have the answers to.
It's hard sometimes for people to point out like stuff that they like and stuff that they don't like because sometimes you take it personally.
I think it's still important though, because what it gave me, for example, as a pointer is to just, crack a couple more jokes, be a bit more attentive, reach out a bit more often, and like,
Mhm.
banter a bit more, interact a bit more. So, I'm not the kind of person to negatively like take it too hard. It's just
That's
something that
good.
I'm glad people like, tell me so I can fix it.
Yeah, you can't please everybody. So I completely understand that for sure.
Hefty comic, I'm glad you're liking the stream. That makes me really happy to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these kind of polls, they can like you have to brace yourself for the results, even if the results are good. It is a really vulnerable spot you're putting yourself as a creator. So I really get that to you. I definitely get you with that.
Mhm.
So I have one last question for you.
Yeah, what is it?
What is something that helps you ground yourself when times are tough?
What helps me to ground myself is just to take a break from the online world. Like, I just don't go on, the computer. Well, I do, but I just don't go on like social media, like Discord or Twitter. Like, I'll log off Discord. I won't check Twitter for a bit. I'll just kind of stay away from those and just focus on being present in the real world. And that always seems to help me refresh, like, if I need to do that for like a day or a few days. And yeah, I'm curious, what do you do when you feel like you need to just step away?
When times get really tough and I go in that kind of mindset where nothing's good enough, nothing I make can really satisfy me or the kind of standard I have for myself, what I do is I go back to my debut stream and I look at the little girl who had her mouse cursor in the middle of her face and that
Aw.
was stumbling the entire time and didn't set up the slides correctly, and with all like the tech issues and all the stuff. And then I'll go to my video editor and I'll like tap into some of the older videos, like the middle-aged ones basically, and then I tap into some of the new videos and I just see how far I came, and then that gives me the
Aw.
courage to push onward and just kind of say, yes, I sucked in the past, but if
No,
I
you
don't
suck. You were learning.
yeah, you that is something I have to work on. You can't hate yourself into becoming a better person. You can't hate yourself into doing stuff, and it's the kind of thing where you
You just gotta be
will
gentle on
yeah,
yourself.
you definitely have to be gentle to yourself. And at least for me, you like when I create content, I already do everything that's in my power, and sometimes that has to be good enough. Perfectionism can only get you so far in any creative outlet that you express yourself in. I'm sure it's the same in music too.
Yeah, exactly. Just always keep looking back at your past stuff and you'll feel a little better, I guarantee. You'll be like, "Wow, okay, I really did come across." I was doing that last night. I was looking at some projects, like the first stages of them, and then the current stage, it was with the first song that you showed people, and I was like, "Wow, this really came a long way."
Definitely. Like I do that too. I think everyone can benefit from that from time to time, to just kind of rewind time a little bit, reminisce, the friends you
Mhm.
made, the people you met, the choices you had to make, and the growth you had to experience. And again, I don't think growth is ever pleasant. I think growth will always be nasty and kind of poo. But when you've done it, when you've been through it and, you climbed the summit and you can look down and everything, you'll see that it was definitely worth it, even though it was annoying or time consuming, or you had to make hard choices to get to the point that you reached.
Right.
So thank you for the sub, Precious Metal
Aw,
Silver. I really
Silver.
appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Heck yeah.
All right, so it's my last sort of question for you. Is there anything you want to say as like some closing remarks? Anything you want to promote? Anything you want to shine to light?
Sure. I'm kind of bad at plugging stuff, but I guess if you liked my stuff, follow me on Twitch because I will also be having Digi on my stream either this month or next month, and we're gonna hang out. So I'll just Hugo, there's my name in case you didn't get it. And if you'd like to keep up with my music and stuff, feel free to follow my Twitter. There is a link on my bio, which is just Cardco, and it just has basically all my links. If you liked anything that you heard today, and there's my Spotify. Thank you so much, G, for being so kind to just like put that there.
Of course, I hope it works. It should work though. It should definitely work.
But yeah, everyone, thank you for being kind to me. Can we get a shout out for I just always tease spam. My friends always tease me about no Silver, no! Don't you start. Don't you start. I knew you were gonna I knew it. I just so predictable. But yeah, it's just the easiest thing sometimes where it's like you wanna say something, but it's just like you don't know what to say. You just kinda like express, you just go like bleh.
I totally get that though, and I think you still did really well. And
Aw, thank you.
everyone that's here, check out me, check out my stuff. I'm
This was
doing
probably
this.
my favorite. Oh, sorry.
You first. That was my
Oh no,
mistake. It's
I'm
all
sorry.
good.
No, I feel like I talked over you. If you insist, I just want to say this was probably my most favorite interview I've ever had. So thank you.
Oh
I really
my.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet of you to say. I really appreciate that, and that's the highest
Yeah.
praise I could imagine. I always strive to make my guests comfortable, and all I
I
want
felt
to do
comfy.
is just give you a good time.
Oh,
Doing
you
it.
did! I hope to return the favor. It's gonna be my first time hosting, and I think with like the stuff that you taught me with Vadinja, I should be able to do that next time.
I hope I can do it because I'm not too tech savvy either. I just try my
Ah,
best with that kind of stuff.
I know it's hard, but I think you figured it out. We figured it out together, and we did it. So it's all good.
And I think the podcast was really nice. I see a lot of positive voices here in the chat. And thank you to you guys, too, you wonderful people. You being here makes this really special. And I really appreciate
Aw,
that.
thank you. That really means a lot to me. And usually when people like, they'll always have the courtesy of like showing me their questions beforehand. There's always like one question where I'm like, can we skip that? But no, like all viewers were respectful, and I really appreciate that.
The reason I do this podcast is just to inspire people to get creative and
Aw,
pursue their
that's so nice.
passions. So if I tickled anyone's fancy here, consider keeping up with my stuff, consider following. Maybe this podcast will also be uploaded on YouTube. So if you miss certain parts of it, you can either watch the VOD or watch the YouTube video. And I'll keep making these. So if you are so inclined, I'll definitely give you more interesting content. We have cosplayers planned, DJs, all sorts of creators are coming here, and
Wow.
they're just as awesome as the last one.
It sounds like you got a lot of awesome stuff coming up, and I'm really glad your podcasts have been going well, and I hope that they still continue to just take off and get better and better.
Thank you. It has been a hard journey for me. It's been a year since I'm tumor free, and it has been six months
Yeah.
since I started VTubing, and it was a wild ride. I had to figure out a lot of things, jump over my shadow, ask people for help, ask for advice, and I'm just really happy with what I have achieved, and it's just gonna get better from here. That's what I want to
Yeah.
believe. So
I
thank you
believe
for the
it's gonna get
subs.
better too. And I'm happy that you're here in one piece and you're doing okay.
I'd like to think that. I definitely like to think
Oh,
that. There's stuff
I
there's stuff I can
understand.
fix.
Mm.
But you guys make it special. You guys make it worth. Like, I just want to keep doing it pretty much. And now it's time to give the kindness forward. So what we usually do here is that my viewers and everyone here can suggest a person we can rate today and just give the kindness
Oh,
forward
that's
a
so
little bit.
kind. Yeah.
And I'll see, of course, I'll see if someone is having a special event. So for example, Ashton Martin is having a special event, and that's really enticing to me. But especially for more regular streams, I let people suggest someone usually, but I think Ashton Martin with their subathon I think that's a good, that's a good reason. So I am gonna send you guys to Ashton, who is absolutely wonderful. And I hope you treat them with respect. You're nice to
Aw.
them. And I'll see you on the other side. So
Alright, bye everyone. Great meeting you all today.
bye.
I really, hold on. I'm like, okay, my expression was like gray. But anyway, bye everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
And for you VOD watchers out there, I hope you have a wonderful day and you enjoyed the VOD. Goodbye.